In this bonus episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about self-love and body groans. Opening with an ahoy hoy and ending with the pew pew. How writing a book means what you say is canon. Ducks as pets and clenching your butt. In our chat about Assistant to the Villain with Hannah Nicole Maehrer. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult, and sometimes other books, series, authors, voice actors, and illustrators that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
Ahoy hoy, I'm Claire, and today we're going to talk to Hannah Nicole Maehrer, author of Assistant to the Villain, an all-round absolutely fantastic person.
Yes, absolutely amazing human being. 100%. Enjoy!
Settle in, everybody. This one is going to be an absolute hoot.
It's time. Is it time?
It's time. Is it time?
Pew, 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 pew. So I don't know if everyone heard, but there were extra pew pews just then.
Gasp.
And that is because we are joined by the author of this fantastic book, Hannah Nicole Maehrer. Yay!
Yay! Oh my gosh, my pew pews were not as good as your pew pews, but I'll get better.
You know, just keep doing it. Just do it the whole time.
Practicing it in the mirror. Yes. It'll be part of my affirmations in the morning.
Yes, along with your other self-care gruntings.
Just self-love grunt, and then as you're leaving the bathroom in the mirror, and just go.
Oh, just one.
Like a little signal to goodbye. I love it. This is my dream.
Okay.
I want to bring back a hoy hoy as a greeting because I love it, and end with a pew.
I've never heard that. Say it again.
A hoy hoy.
Hoy hoy.
It's the original way that they wanted to answer for the guy who was it Alexander Graham Bell who invented the telephone. He wanted the telephone to be the greeting. It wasn't hello. Hello was like a Victorian slur or something like that. He wanted it to be hoy hoy.
Oh my god, why didn't we keep that? That's so much funnier.
I know!
I'm so bummed.
I think we just do it now.
Should we just do it now and just confuse? Everyone's going to be confused, but maybe it'll catch on.
I'm hoping it does. I say hoy hoy all the time at work.
That's a bummer. He invented it. Shouldn't he get a say in like what we say?
No. But we would appreciate it if you would integrate that into your TikTok videos.
Although I could do that easy. That could be like how we answer the phone in the villain's office.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, it's written in. We've done it. We've already done it.
That is like the most villainous thing you could say when you answer.
If Evie could awkwardly do a pew pew to somebody, it's just like
you would do
exiting a conversation as well. Yeah. That would be good.
That would be how she caps off anything like word vomity that she says by accident. Like she'd go, "Oh, pew pew," and the villain would be like, "What are you doing?"
I'm so confused. I'm just going.
What is that? Why did I hire you? I'm so confused.
It's for the cute nose crinkle.
Confuse people into just walk away. You know,
I feel like that's the best way to exit a conversation. Is just leave everybody like, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
Why did they say that? The best way to go, honestly.
But we're not leaving a conversation now. We're just beginning a conversation.
Oh, okay. Ahoy hoy.
Oh, yeah, right. Ahoy.
Should we start with Would You Rather?
Yes. Oh my God.
Okay. Right. Usually we do start off with our social media question, but we haven't actually posted this one yet. It's going to be posted later on today. Yeah, well, but these things happen. Sometimes we record out of order because we have lives. So, shocker.
That's so unreasonable of you to have a
how dare you have gainful employment and family?
Yes. Oh my gosh,
you doing?
Don't have a social life, but yeah, I've got everything else.
This is our social life.
I was just going to say, this is my social life.
This is all we need.
Just one Zoom call a week and I'm fine.
I interact with like fictional people a lot more than I do real people.
Yeah, definitely.
The there's less awkward conversations with fictional people.
Yes.
Unless they
Unless
start with
you're
ahoy
invited.
hoy or end with pew pew.
You could just close the book. Then you're just like, oh no. I'm just gonna close it.
It's not going to be at the end anymore.
I do that on my laptop all the time. I'll type a line or something Evie said, and I'm like, oh no, I can't. I don't want to look. I'm not gonna look.
No.
And I'm like, I could just delete it and have her not say that, but I'm like, no, she says it. I'm just like, I can't. Why would you do that?
It's the equivalent of just turning your eyes and going, it's so cringe.
I know. Oh my god, but she's so funny. I do love her. I'm like, oh god, oh no.
She's far too relatable. That's the problem.
God, she's amazing. She's so amazing.
Love Evie.
Anywho, question we asked, or will be asking, or have asked, depends on when you're listening to this really. Would you rather have a caricature of yourself or an abstract painting of yourself?
I personally think I'd like a caricature. I think that I see myself in a very cartoonish kind of silly way. I think that would just be I always love caricatures. I think they're so funny in the way the artists do them and the way they like display your features. And I don't know, I've always been a caricature sort of person. So I think a funny drawing of myself is always the way to go.
I like that. I do like that. I was at an event for work this week, and the girl I was sitting next to, we decided that next time, instead of having a roaming photographer, which they had, we need to have a caricaturist in the art in the corner and just get everybody to do caricatures. We thought it'd be much more interesting.
Every time it's at like any like wedding I went to growing up, where like kids were allowed to go and they had like a caricature artist, I was so stoked. I was like, yes, I could. I was like, I always look so cute. And my mom's like, that's not the point of them. And I'm like, look how cute.
I've
You need to
never
get your
had
awful
one.
pictures of caricature. Have you? I've never had a caricature.
Oh, yeah.
The closest is probably Brie doing the couple of fan arts that she sent us.
Yeah. Well,
God,
and also,
that would be such a fun author picture to have a caricature of yourself. That's just like the best idea ever.
all right. Well, you
Yeah.
have goals
Gotta get
now.
on that.
Yeah, you need to get on it right now. Oh, wait, no, not right now. Let's talk first, and then.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'll make some calls.
I have people.
I have
Do you
people.
I have people. Because nobody has a phone book anymore. I'll call people
Yeah.
and then they will find those people.
Yes.
Oh my god, I still say phone book though. I like remember the giant phone book my parents had growing
Yes.
up and like searching it for pizza.
Yes.
Do you still rewind even though you're streaming?
What do you mean? Do I still like go back on the?
Yeah, so when you go back on it, instead of like
But you-
clicking back, you click, I'm going to go
But
rewind.
you call it
Oh
rewind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't everyone say rewind still? Is that not a
Apparently.
thing?
I think
And-
it's a
and do
generational thing.
And you roll down the window or hang up the
Yes.
phone.
Yes.
Yes.
I've never had such a horror when I worked in a school and I said to the kids like talking on the phone, and instead of doing this, they did this because like they're holding an iPhone
No.
and not. I was like, "What are you doing? What is that? No, put that away.
No.
Put it away. In a school? Put this up. What's happening?"
And
What
when
about
they
the
hang
people
up,
now
it's
that
not
do
putting
this?
it down like that. It's
Oh, you have to
no.
push the button.
And they will
Oh.
never know the satisfaction of closing a flip phone. It was just the biggest travesty of this show, like, ever.
I remember
Nothing-
having to explain what vinyl was. However, I was like 18 at the time, and I was explaining to my friend's little sister, and I felt like decrepit at that age. So now, many years later, I'm like, cut me in half and count the rings, for I am ancient.
But
I
also,
saw
vinyl's
it's
coming
struggling-
back.
Yes, vinyls are like everything makes its loop around, but I saw kids like struggling to figure out how a CD works, and I was like, "Excuse me, first of all, you just pull it out of the case. I don't understand." They're like, "We don't want to bend it," and I'm like, You just pop it out. I don't understand."
You can
What's
use it as a
What's wrong
coaster
with
and
you?
still it'll work.
What's wrong with you?
Oh yeah, I feel like, you know what though, I do understand they're very thin, but I feel like CDs were always very sturdy. Like they didn't break very easily.
No.
Unless you've had the pain of a cassette tape and you unwind and had to use a pencil
Oh, yeah.
to very carefully wind it back in, you've never known true anguish.
Oh my god, I never had to do that, but I think my
Oh.
brothers always did that with our VHS tapes. Like if
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they would do it because I do not have the fine motor skills to do that successfully.
My favorite was putting the tape over the ends of the cassette tapes, like there's little squares, and when you put the tapes there, then you can record over them.
Yes.
Oh, that is so smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why it worked, but
It did.
it did.
When you used to buy blank ones that had the tag already on, and then when you used it, you took the tag off, so it couldn't be recorded over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why? Science.
I don't know. Magic.
Magic.
It's magic. It's clearly magic.
It must be, because I don't know how any of that's. I still don't know how cell phones work. Like, I
No.
don't understand it. I'm just like, oh yeah, call someone, they answer, but like, how does it
Yeah.
get there?
And you
I've
call
watched
them
kids
like this.
programs on it, and like, you know, with my own child, and he understands, and I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna say.
Ah,
magic.
yeah, that even
Yeah.
I feel like in kid language, I'd just be like, but I don't get how they figured out like so confused. But that is why I'm not an inventor or a mathematician or a scientist or anything productive.
It's fine.
But you have the bonus, at least being an author, that you get to research it and ask the people who do know
Yeah.
how it works and it works to work, and then go, please sense check, thank you.
And then, but I feel like, see, as a librarian, I just get to research all of that. So if you need research help, I mean, Claire's obviously the research librarian, but if you need me to look up something for you, I would do it. I would research for you.
I'm a specific research though. Mine's health research.
Oh, but
and
no, but
methodology.
that's super applicable. Oh my God, I literally texted, both my parents are in the medical field, and I was trying to figure out, oh wait, would this spoil book two if I say this? I was trying to figure out something medically speaking for a character, and I was trying to like ask him, and it was so random of a question. My dad was like, I don't understand what you're asking me. Why are you asking me this? I'm like, I'm scared. Like, what do you
Dare we ask what body
It was
part it
basically
relates
like
to?
if you hit someone really hard, like what do they see behind their eyelids if it's like if it's already like dark outside or something like that? Like if it's like do they still see stars or if they close their eyes? And he was like, I'm a podiatrist. Like, why are you asking? He's like, I only know like feet ailments. Why are you asking me?
Technically, I have authored a paper on neurological trauma, but I'm nowhere an expert in it because I'm not medical.
No, but oh my God, you have.
I'm the librarian person. I just look things up for people.
Yeah, but that's still knowledge because you have the means to like look things like because my research for stuff will range from that to like I literally Googled during book 2. Can frogs bite, and if so, does it hurt? Like that was like what my search engines looked up.
And what did it say? Because I'm now interested and invested in the answer.
Yes, they can bite, but their jaws are not very strong. So they like can't bite very hard if they do bite. So even if it bites you, it wouldn't particularly be painful if they were just like biting. But yes, they can bite, just not very. Which I was like, oh, their jaws aren't very strong. That's kind of sad.
They won't have teeth either.
Yes, I don't think that they do. Or
it's like a weird like bone ridge
Cartilage?
sort of thing. Yeah.
they have a fun like their mouths are shaped like a very round sort of. I know more about frogs than I ever thought I would.
There's only one type of frog. Scarily, do frogs have and then instantly teeth is the first that comes up in Google. And
Yes,
there's only one frog out of more than 7,000 species that has true teeth on both the upper and lower jaws.
Which one is it?
Let's find out. Keep talking, I'll find out.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
no, because
Yes.
then the next thing would be moving on to our next question, which like doesn't have anything to do with anything that we're talking about right now. Which nothing has anything to do with anything
really-
in Fictional
Segways are
Hangover.
overrated. Segways are overrated.
Yeah, they really are. They really, really are.
You don't need them. It's just
No,
Oh, I'm never going to say
episode is
this.
like, segways just bounce from one thing to the other. It'll
fine.
go.
Right.
Yeah.
In true on brand Claire, I'm not going to pronounce this correctly. Gastrophica Guntheri.
Oh my.
Oh yeah,
goodness.
that one.
Yep, I've heard. Yep,
Yes, familiar.
my favorite.
Its teeth have re-evolved after being absent for over 200 million years, according to this guy called Dolo. That's so interesting.
That is very interesting.
The X-rays are horrific, but fun. Like, you look at them and you think, oh.
I have to look it up after this because that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'll probably be like, ooh.
Please send us a link.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the next question. Would you rather have a dragon or a gouvre?
Oh gosh, I think probably the dragon, because I think the Givrays would.
Oh, gouvre. The audiobook says gouvre.
You know what?
Gouvre.
However, yeah, it's usually I say it. I think it's like whatever. If you say it however you like, but it's I usually say Givray because I think that's the pronunciation where it was kind of like inspired by a French mythology, and I believe the way the French or the French pronunciation of it, I think, is Givray. So that's usually how I say it. But
sounds sexier.
It's cute. I think for me personally, I think I'd rather have the dragon just because I feel like the Givrays are a little bit more unpredictable, and I don't think that I don't know. I feel like I would not know how to hit. They're a very like unruly creature. They're like fate's creatures. So like any wrong move with them will kind of bring the wrath of fate upon you. And I think that I would just feed them the wrong food and get myself into very big trouble. I'd be like, do you want a cupcake? And then I get struck by lightning. They
do come across as very high maintenance.
Yes, but they're beautiful animals, and I love them so much. They were just such a fun part of writing book one, and I just think I would love to like see one in person and like, you know, maybe even pet one if they let me. I don't know. I think I would maybe like to have both, but I think in the end I'd pick the dragon just because I don't know. The dragon I think would grow on me eventually. I think Blade could help the dragon like me. And the dragon's so funny. He's like afraid of like mice and stuff. Like he's like an elephant. So I don't know. I think I'd like the dragon, but I'd be happy with the Givray as well. Either or would be A-okay with me.
It's got to be dragons for me. It's classic. I love dragons.
We love a dragon.
Well, I feel like I have to go the other way.
No,
I mean,
you pick whatever you want.
Oh, but no, 100%. I was already doing that. I kind of
did a medium thing where I was like, oh, I'll take either. But I think I would be more likely to be, the Givrays would more likely take me out. But maybe that's how I should go. Maybe that's the way to go.
That's
like,
the way fate intended.
Correct. Because... like if there's like, if that's the way I go out, like hanging out with a really cool animal, then that's the way I go.
Yeah.
I want to know which one can I fly, and it's going to probably be dragon. So yeah, you know, and then be the Game of Thrones style Queen of Dragons, your Mother of Dragons, and then you know,
I know,
come on, Fluffy. There's my enemies. Let's get some fire.
Yes, like a nice Daenerys.
Yeah. Let's go burn them all.
I think in theory you could ride a Givray, but it would probably be the dragon's more, I think, prepared to be ridden.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, theory over practicality. You know, one's a proven quantity, and I'm going to go with that.
No, see, no, I'm going the exact opposite. I am picking the Givray. I mean, it just seems more evil too. It's, you know, with the acid breath and just being so unpredictable. That's what I have to pick because I am always the bad guy. I'm always the villain. I'm always the worst one. So that's what I have to pick. But also, like, at the same time, I'll keep them safe. I'll feed them what they like. If they like cupcakes, I'll feed them cupcakes.
I think as long as you keep them happy, nothing bad happens. I think like I didn't
like you didn't literally write
just
this book.
Like people.
I sometimes will go, I have a headcanon, and my friend went, it's not a headcanon if you wrote it, then it's just canon. And I was like, oh wait, that's so true. Good. I felt like, oh my god, like who allowed me to do this?
That's one of the greatest things I've ever heard.
I was like, oh, because I was like, I have this really cute headcanon with the villain, and my friend was like, it's canon then. Like, what are you talking about?
Your friend is wise.
I was like, thank God you said that, and I didn't. No, I just like called myself out like publicly. I was like, I didn't say that like in a video. That would have been embarrassing. But you know what? I'm a believer in saying embarrassing things out loud because
just own it. Just own it.
I always own it. I think it's fun to humble yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
I come from I have a family full of boys. Like I have the only girl in my family, so I like that is my entire upbringing is humbling myself. Like,
Do you know, I think it's actually really sweet because that's kind of like you as the author have obviously written the book. What has happened is true. That's canon. But you've also kind of already relinquished your rights to the world and the characters, and if people want to, write fan fiction and stuff like that and take characters in different ways, you're already happy with that. But just know that this is the true vein. You've kind of already forgiven people and you've already set them free, which tells me exactly how much Evie and the villain and Tatiana and all of the characters have their own life inside your head.
Oh my God, they literally, and it's true because I think that way. I think because I make I truly just start typing and I am just a vessel for them to do. I have no say in anything that's happening. Like I'll have someone go, well, why isn't this happening? And I'm like, I wanted it to. They said no. And I'm like, do what I want. I am your God. What is happening? Like, why am I not getting heard? I'll be like, let's go here. And they're like, what if we go over there? And I'm like, that's not going to help me at all in this situation.
I can completely understand that because when Evie and the villain were in that closet and I'm going, freaking kiss her, just freaking kiss her, and they didn't. Like, you stubborn.
Do you know how many times I was like, kiss? And they were like, no, and then they yelled at me.
I can imagine if there were people literally trying to force their heads together.
Oh my God, especially doing the series first on TikTok, I was like, I felt like they had hit a point too where I was like, God, they're ready. But when I sat down to write the book, we're just expanding on that and expanding on the characters and almost not moving them backwards in the sense that the characters are not as developed. It's more we're more developing them and we're at a point in the story where they're not there yet.
Yeah.
But I was like, I've been doing this for a while, so I feel like they're there. And then they weren't. And I'm like, come on, guys. And every time someone's like, it's so slow burn. And I'm like, it's not my choice. They won't let me do anything that I want.
Damn you, autonomy.
Please. And they're like, what if we hug? And I'm like, okay, fine.
But then the villain's like, I don't know how to hug, so I don't know what you're expecting.
I was their hugs in the book were very inspired by, I love the scene at the end of Tangled when they hug. I just thought that was the sweetest, I don't know. And I think for me too, a villain who's really only known for the last decade, violence and anger and all of these bitter things, to be confronted with something that sweet and pure just makes me feel like I'm gonna cry.
Do you know, the villain gives me Mr. Darcy vibes. As a massive Pride and Prejudice fan, the display is hugely there. Amanda's gone and died. She hates
that's such a compliment. I could literally pass out.
Oh, it's Mr. Darcy vibe, especially, or you can even include Bridgerton if you want. It's the near hand thing, when people start going crazy, oh, the nearly touched hands. That's so sexy.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
It's that.
That's what people will ask, ooh, is there a lot of tension? And I'm or romance, and I'm to me romance is their hands, that scene in Bridgerton season 2 when their pinkies towards each other. I paused it and screamed. I paused it and screamed.
Kate and Anthony's one of my favorite stories of the books.
Me too.
I love them.
Me too.
And that bit,
they did such a good job with their I loved Kate. I loved their whole thing. I was I love the tension build up. I love the lingering glances and the oh my gosh, do they touch hands? That
exactly.
That gets
Kate
me
and
so
Anthony
much.
are Lizzie and Darcy. So
Yes,
you created Evie and the villain are Lizzie and Darcy.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I'm gonna pass out.
Can I just crack open a gruesome horror book while you guys talk about sweet and precious things? Because
fine. Do you want to talk about pink gowns and rainbow gowns instead? Would you like to do that?
That is our next question. You're right.
Yes, nice LinkedIn. Would you rather wear Evie's white rainbow gown or Tatiana's magical fitting pink gown?
I love Evie's dress is like, I love her dress so much, but I think I would pick Tatiana's like gown because I think the idea that was such a self like I want this so badly moment where I was like I dress that just like is always going to fit you perfectly no matter like how your body changes and how your body grows, no matter what, like your clothes will always fit just right. Like that is like the dream.
I will take one in all the colors.
I know. I'm like, you could, because like our bodies are supposed to grow and change as we get older, and like just through different life cycles, like we should be allowed to change without like worrying about our clothes like not fitting comfortably. So that is like, yeah. And I love that. I think that line too, like where your clothes should be made to fit you, not you should be made to fit your clothes. I think that that's very,
Yeah.
so I think I would personally like the dress, but I do love Evie's dress too. So that's a top choice, but I think the dress that's always going to fit just right is probably my move there.
I think so too. I think so too. I mean, I probably wouldn't choose pink if I did get to have a magical dress. But if it's fitting me, then it would be, black and scary. And that's okay because that's me.
Tatiana would get you a dress. Tatiana's such a girl's girl. She'd be like, "You want a black dress? I'm gonna get you a black dress right now. I'll go get you one."
Now.
Yeah.
See, my worry is with the rainbow dress is that instantly I would get a stain, a coffee stain or something. I'm not drinking, I'm not eating, but I'll look down and then suddenly on the boob,
appear. Yeah.
there's a stain.
Yeah. I cannot wear white without something. I mean, Evie does stain the dress.
Wow.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit stained.
Just a little stain. She's clumsy, like just a clumsy for her.
So yeah, I think we're all picking the magical fitting dress. It'd be so nice not to be worried about the lumps and bumps and shapes. And Amanda's heard me complain about my body shape a lot and my concerns over that. So yes, that would be so nice.
No, clothes should always be comfortable. We should all wear what makes us feel the most comfortable and good about yourself too. You should feel confident and happy with what you're wearing too.
Yes.
And it has pockets.
Oh.
And it has pockets.
Yes. That's all we ever want.
It's the best thing. Somebody said the cutest thing a woman can do is when you compliment her dress and she goes, "It has pockets." Like that is so cute. When someone does that. I'm like,
I'm going to a wedding this month and I'm hoping somebody asks me, and because I've got pockets on my dress, so I can just go pockets.
Oh, you have to. Yes, as soon as they do.
Yes, you have
it has
to.
Pockets, because it's usually the best for all of the dresses. It has pockets. I usually don't put anything in the pockets because often they're not like super functional.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Now, see, like I don't carry a purse. I am not a purse person. So my pockets are filled with things all the time, and I've got my.
Good. I feel like that's how most that's how like a lot of like men's clothing is built to have like stuff in the pockets. I feel like sometimes my pockets of my jeans are so shallow, like I can't stick stuff in there, and I'm like, are they doing this on purpose? So I have to buy.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
I found a brand that actually does super comfortable and really durable jeans in the UK, and the pockets are so deep. I can get a trade paperback in the pocket and do on a regular basis. I go ghost hunting with my friend, and I literally just fill the pockets with all the paraphernalia, and I'm hands free.
That is fabulous. Yes, that's why I always like when the winter season comes around and I have like my big jacket with all my zipper pockets, because then I'm like, I don't even need a purse. I just got everything in all my zipper pockets. It's like my favorite. I do like.
We all need to wear tactical vests, really.
I would love to wear a tactical vest.
I do like a fanny pack. I'm a fan. I do love a fanny pack. Yes. I'm not gonna lie.
It's called a bum bag in the UK. Just so
my god, no!
That's even that is. See why that's so much better than what we say. Why is it not called that here?
Because a fanny is the front part in the UK.
There's if you ever go back and listen to any Fictional Hangover, there's an episode with Kendara Blake telling that when she learned that story, and she said she was just walking around talking about her fanny all over the place, and everyone was like,
no.
So
she was going, watch out for Fanny.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good episode.
God. I feel like I would do the same thing. I'd probably say something, have somebody be like, what are you
but bearing in mind that the UK has integrated a lot of Americanism, so you can say watch out for Fanny and wiggle your tush, and everybody knows you talk about your tush and not your your foof.
Yes. That's pretty nice.
Context is key, though.
Context is so important in any situation, really. That's just a good rule of thumb for life.
Yes,
It's
it really
context
is.
matters.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
like, if you're in a difficult situation, like our next Would You Rather question, Amanda.
Yes, indeed. That was a much better segue than anything that has come out of
Segue.
our mouths today so
Well
far.
done.
Would you rather get out of a difficult situation by fake crying or pretending to have your period?
I've done both.
I feel like I could do both in the same go, but to be honest, I cry so easily, like over anything. Like I would just probably cry just because it was stressful. I would just start crying because I'd be like, I don't know why we're doing this very stressful situation. So I probably like it wouldn't even be fake crying, it would just be like actual crying if I did that. But I think I would probably actually choose like saying I have my period, just because like that's just such a normal thing. And if somebody has any sort of like reaction to that, like that feels very telling on their part more than mine. Like I'm just having a normal. And listen, if I have to go through it every month, like I better be able to use it for my own benefit.
Exactly.
Suffer. Like, I don't know. I feel like I probably would pick that, if only for the just see the reactions to gauge like the character of everyone in the room.
Yeah, and then like you pinpoint who you're gonna like destroy viscerally later. Like,
right, based off of their reaction. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I give you a tip for the future if you ever find yourself needing it? It's a very good tip. If you ever feel like you're going to cry, or you know that you're going to cry, like you're in a situation and you're like, yeah, I'm totally going to be crying like it's going to happen because I just can't help it. Because I rage cry.
Oh, yeah, me too. I cry literally for every feeling that I...
Squeeze your butt cheeks together.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
It
All
helps.
right.
It
Did everybody
helps.
else instantly start squeezing their bus cheeks?
Everybody.
I'm going to,
Even
if that's the case,
myself
I'm
right
going to have buns of steel.
Yeah.
Because of how much I cry. I'm
Yeah.
going to have buns of steel. Like, that's the way to get a nice tush. Like, if you're
Constantly cry.
constantly cry and then...
Did we all answered that last question, right? And then
Yeah, I copped
then
out
we-
and said both because I have
Yes,
done
the
both.
draft.
But can I
Okay.
point out, though, with pretending that you have your period, please bear in mind that when I have my period, my cramps are so bad that I've passed out. So I can just literally faint and I'm out of the conversation. It's great.
Oh my God.
I've not faked it to that
Oh my
degree, but I could do
God.
that.
You should do that.
Oh my God, you should do that. I mean, it's not even faking. It's like actually very painful.
My record is 7 times in 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
I shouldn't be proud of that, should I?
You should not be proud of that.
You should be able to
This
rest
is
when
why
that's
everybody
happening.
needs to have access to contraceptive pills, because it's not to stop the babies, it's to stop the pain.
Oh, yeah.
No more
Indeed.
periods for me. Yes, you know how much money you
Oh,
save
good.
because you don't have to like worry about tampons and pads and all that.
Oh, so true.
Amazing.
So true.
And then
Amazing.
paying
Something-
lots
Yes.
for taxes and
Oh,
everything's
why?
terrible.
If you go to Scotland, you don't pay tax on sanitary products.
I heard that rumor, and not a rumor. I heard that, and I
truth.
was like,
It
I
is a
need to know.
fact.
I heard that truth, that fact I need to know.
Yes, it's annoying because Scotland's
I've
literally an
heard
hour
it.
away from me. Why don't I move?
Or you, oh my God, if you still needed them, you could just drive there.
I mean, I'd have to
Although
be
the
a resident,
gas money would probably
technically.
be. Oh, shoot. I guess that makes sense. Oh, so I couldn't just like visit and do that. You'd have to be
Well,
a resident.
I suppose if you went and you needed to go to the doctors, then you'd just pay your prescription charge. I don't know what the difference would be. I don't know. Anywho,
we have one more. Would you rather? Wow, we are much farther behind than we normally would be on account
it's
of.
been good crack.
It's me. I'm such a deviator in conversation. I cannot help it. I like don't know what happened.
Well, that just
I like
it's fine with us. We normally want to keep you on, on your track. We're good to chat all day.
I have nothing. I have nothing. This is me procrastinating cleaning my apartment. So as the longer we stay on, the
Essentially same, yeah. Well, let's get the would you rather out of the way, and then we can procrastinate as much as we want.
Yes.
Would
indeed.
you rather? Sorry, who would you rather work with at the manor? Blade, Becky, Tatiana, or Edwin?
Oh, it's so hard because I love all of them. I'm like, I just want it to be all of them. Ah, it's such a hard question because I love Edwin. I think I would have a lot of fun like working in the kitchen with him. Ah, so tough. I don't think I would like working with Tatiana, but I don't think I'd want to work in the healer's quarters because I'm pretty good with like, like blood and cuts and stuff. I just think there's certain things that would make me like broken bones make me squeamish. So I feel like I wouldn't be able to be as helpful in that area. She'd probably be like, "Can you get out? Because you keep gagging or like passing out, like and sweating, and that's not helpful." And I'm like, ah. I think Becky would probably be like the best to work with though, because I feel like I like need structure and direction when I'm like doing something. So I think she would just tell me flat out what I need to do when it needs to be done. And that would be like that for me, for my brain that needs like the kick into gear. I'd be like, oh, okay, here I go. Here I go. And I'd be so desperate to be her friend that I would do whatever she said. I'd be like, please like me. And she'd be like, get away from me. And I'd be like, so valid, queen. That's so funny of you to say. I think, oh God. Okay, I'm gonna say Edwin as my final answer, but Becky would be my next choice. I think Edwin and I would have fun like baking in the kitchen and making the cauldron brew and stuff. And he would probably be like, we'd talk about books and we'd talk about like romance books, and it would be fabulous. Yes, I think Edwin is my final answer, but Becky would be my runner-up.
I'm too similar to Becky at work. Like, I am a driver. It drives me to distraction as well when people start deviating from the tasks. And I ask a question, I'm like, can I please have a response? And I don't get any reply. And I'm like, yeah. And then I assign actions and the actions aren't done. Or I send an email out asking for assistance in something and I get nothing back. Drives me freaking crazy.
Oh my God, naturally.
So I couldn't work with Becky because I think we're too similar that we would actually kill each other. Like there would be literal, both of our heads would be in the foyer. Is there much snot? If there's too much, I'm not bothered by blood and guts and bones sticking out, so I could help Tatiana. But if there's snot, nah, I'm not going anywhere.
It's fair. It's fair.
Blade would be far too much poop. A lot of dragon poop. I can imagine dragon poop being very messy. I'm going to pick Edwin because at least then, talk books. I could experiment with flavours. He might be able to teach me some finesse. Yeah, I'm going to pick Edwin as well.
No, Edwin's just so low.
I think
I
I also have to pick Edwin. Like, we're just all going to hang out in the kitchen, but then do we have too many cooks in the kitchen? Isn't that like a phrase?
Yeah, but I think Edwin would give us each a job.
Okay.
He'd be like, all right, one of you is kneading the dough, one of you is mixing the dry ingredients, one of you is mixing the wet ingredients, or one of us is making the cold. He'd give us all a job.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if anything, he'd just let us sit in there with him while read a book.
And go and gaze out the window.
Gaze out the pretty window that Evie's always staring at. We could do
I would
that.
offer to take over the cauldron brew duties. I'll do
fair.
the cauldron brew so he doesn't have to worry about that. There will be milk and sweeteners available upon request.
The villain's like, sneak it. I don't want to hurt his team. Even though Edwin's like making the strongest possible cauldron brew in the entire world, like
I was listening to the audiobook and then I went to this thing at work. We had like this event day, and they provided tea, coffee and croissants for us, and I literally was listening to it going in, and it was about that section, and I just started giggling away to myself thinking, oh, did Edward make this? Especially when I poured the coffee and it was the strongest, blackest sludge coming out of the big canteen thing that they had. I was like, oh my God, I need to add like lots of milk and extra hot water to this to calm it down, and I can take a strong coffee, but this was ridiculous. I was like, this is Edwin's cauldron brew.
Oh yeah, I like a strong coffee too, but if I take one sip and I feel like my heart is starting to like escape my chest, I'm like, wait, we might need to tamper this down a bit. Just a little bit.
If it causes palpitations, you need to really reassess.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Evie drinks it though straight. She likes I think because that matches her energy already. She doesn't even notice the difference. She's like, this is just me every day. Like,
I'm not a
still
strong
trying.
coffee person. I'm like, just here's the coffee and here's the cream.
Yes, you're the villain.
I am the villain. That's all I've ever wanted.
Tick
You are
achievement.
the villain. Legitimately, my mom, when she was reading it, was like, wouldn't the villain be the one that likes like black coffee? And I'm like, no, it's funnier that he's like the one that's like, it needs to be sweet or I can't drink it. Like, he likes sweets. Like that man, Evie's meanwhile is like, I'll drink it black. And that to me, somebody said like once, which I like drinking black coffee, so I don't know what this says about me, but somebody was like, you drink like that sad black bean water. Like, do you hate yourself? And I'm like, no, it tastes good. What do you want?
That was
from me?
literally
But I
what
feel
was said to me on Friday morning as I was walking into the event thing. Are you going to go and drink that black bean water?
Yeah, it's like, all right, just let me drink it, man.
No.
What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
No.
But I get it. I like a sweet coffee too. I'm not like picky about I'll drink either. I like a sweet or a little bit more bitter. I can drink either. But it's so funny to me because I feel like the villain would look at Evie drinking her coffee and be like, You're crazy. Like you're a psychopath. And she's like, meanwhile, you torture people. I'm crazy because I'm drinking black coffee.
She's having the doppio espresso, and he's like, caramel macchiato, please, with an extra shot of vanilla
yeah.
spice.
It's because
Thanks.
Caramel
it's because
and a
we're
face.
already dead on the inside. We're dead and dark and so black on the inside already. We need to try to add stuff to the outside. At least that's
Yes,
me.
Need something sweet.
Yeah.
I think that that's super fair and very valid. I think that my favorite thing about the villain is that he likes sweets like to an aggressive degree. Like it's so funny.
I'm expecting. Oh, if I say a tuck shop, you'll not understand. A sweet shop inside inside Massacre Manor. You know, as soon as he does have that tea party as well with Evie's little sister, he's going to be like, I can have cake and tea and sweets and scones with cream and jam every day. This is happening every day.
He didn't know that he was even allowed to do that. He was like, this is just an excuse to eat cake. Like, what a great plan. Like, this is evil genius. Like,
it is evil genius to treat your employees well as too, you know, to give them breaks and holidays, and you know, make it 5 o'clock when you've got to leave. That's the end of the work day. You've got to get out. You know, treat them well.
You want to treat your minions well.
That's evil.
yes. Oh yeah, he knows
That's
that.
how you get
I
the
think
loyalty.
one of my favorite lines towards the beginning of the book, when Evie's like kind of reflecting on like her job and stuff and like talking about the office, and she's like, because there's obviously like a certain level of misogyny outside of the villain's office, and she's like, well, the best part about him is that he hates everyone equally. He believes in equality.
Isn't that true equality when everybody's just like the same amount?
Yes, that's what she's like. Yeah, he's the villain, but like everybody gets treated the same. Sometimes a little scary, but it's usually all equal. So it's fine. She's like, it's a little bit more consistent than what's happening out there, so it's fine with me. And I'm like, that's so valid, though. Like, I understand. I'm like, so valid. I'm like, I wrote that line. Like,
do you know this
so
whole?
valid.
Would you rather be in the forest with a bear or a man? And everybody's picking bear.
Oh my god,
It would be like, would you rather be in the bear or the villain? And actually, being in the forest with a villain is not a bad deal.
Oh no.
I would be in the forest with the funny. That's funny because when Evie first met him, she thought he was like a wounded animal because he had like a fur cloak on, and she was like, "Oh my god, he's hurt!" But it was just the villain, and she turned out to be safer with him than the king's guard that was chasing.
So in this very specific instance, I'm picking the villain.
That's very flattering for me because I wrote him, so I'm like, "Oh my god, I created the one."
You created the Pedro Pascal of fiction.
Oh my god!
Because
I want that on a plaque. I'm gonna put that on my desk.
Yeah, you need that cross stitching as a sampler and putting on the wall.
I need that on a T-shirt or something. Like, that is the best thing anyone's ever said to
Oh my
me.
god, he's both Mr. Darcy and Pedro Pascal.
Wow. Oh
I'm having a moment.
yeah, if it wasn't the villain, I would pick the bear. But if it is the villain, I would pick the villain because the villain is very like he'd make sure I was okay.
Yeah.
Like he'd be like he like looked at Eve and he was like, I can't leave her alone. Like that would be not cool. Like I gotta do something with this woman because she's gonna die if I leave her behind.
he knows who he needs to be mean to.
Yes.
And it's the people that deserve it.
Yes.
Yes. He knows the right people too. Yes, that's 100% correct. Most definitely.
So now it's time for us to move on from Would You Rather and talk about other things, which is great because we get to keep you like as long as we want to, and we've already done it. We're all over the place today, but it's fine.
We've talked about everything.
Yeah, it's fine. It's perfect. It's a very good episode. So we have to I guess circle back to the beginning of everything because you're kind of a big deal on TikTok.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, you're kind of.
So I'm like, I don't think so.
You're
I don't know.
kind of a big deal. So tell us how you got started making these ridiculous videos that are now published, real published books.
I know. I still really can't believe. I think I've created some sort of very elaborate hallucination, and this has not actually happened, and that everybody's just letting me think.
Well, keep going because it's very fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, we love it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think I started doing the videos during the pandemic. I think that's how so many people started on TikTok. Everybody was bored and home, and there was nothing to do. So I was still working, but everyone had moved out of my college town, and I was alone a lot of the time, and I was found Book Talk, loved Book Talk, thought it was so fun. And then I found bookish skits, and I love comedy. I've always loved laughing. I love sharp, witty humor, and so I started making my own. And they were if I there was a couple if I met the morally gray villain, which is very I watched them and I'm this is so the pipeline to how I got to where it is now. And then I was trying to think of funny skit ideas, and I was oh, wouldn't it be funny if I was an assistant to the fantasy heroine, and I'd be all right, at 10 a.m. you're gonna let out a breath you didn't know you were holding, and you're gonna learn to fight in 5 minutes at 1 p.m. Things like that. I was that's funny, but I had so many more funny ideas for a villain, and I also just love villains, so I just thought it would be funny. And so I filmed it literally the morning before I went to my nanny job. And when the kids were down for their nap, we were in the playroom actually, and they ignore me sometimes when we're in the playroom, and I'm just sitting there and I'm hi guys. And so I picked up my phone, posted it, put it down, and then played with them, got them down for their nap, came back downstairs, and then there was all of these comments, and and I had started steadily building a following at that point. So I had people that were following along with my trope videos and little short stories I would tell. And everyone was so in love with it. And I as much as I was in love with it, because I was I love this idea so much. It's so fun, and silly. And because it was opening the door, going, do you need me to clean up the blood before your next meeting? Do you want a towel? It's very I don't know, just very satirical and silly and very campy and fun. And I kept doing them because I loved doing it so much, and everyone else seemed to enjoy it too. So then it started to kind of have a consistent group of people that would come watch the episodes, and it kind of became a little community, and it was so much fun. And it was a really good creative outlet for me at the time too, because I was going through a lot of mental health stuff at the time, which is something I always juggle, but at the time it was especially difficult, and it was such a nice escape for me to go and play this character and be in this office and yell at Becky and meet Blade. And literally Becky was just a name I yelled offhandedly in the first video. I was Becky, you're in HR, what do you know? That was it. I was that's how Becky was born. And then she became Evie's not rival, but they're bickering matches every single episode, because Evie's very chaotic and Becky's organized, and she likes order. Naturally, that's understandable. And then Blade came in because he was supposed to be a tool to make the villain jealous in one of the episodes, and then he became a consistent thing that I would go and Evie would talk to Blade, and so the series sort of unfolded that way. And then I was writing something else. I had always wanted to be an author, and that was a dream, and since I was really young, and I had been writing something else, and I was so not into it. I was I'm just not excited about this, and I was all I want to do is make more assistant to the villain episodes, and I was so obsessed with the world, and I kept thinking what would the villain say, what would he do, what would he be like? And it was so difficult for me to think about anything else that I was all right, I'm just gonna sit down and see. And I'd always said, I'm going to try to write this book one day. I have no idea what it's going to look like, but I'm going to do it. And then I just sat down and I was like, I'm just going to do it and see. And I'd been doing the videos for a couple months at that point. And then I like literally wrote the most words I've written in one sitting ever. I've never been able to repeat that experience. I wish I could. That would be fabulous. I don't know who that girl was. I'd love her back. Where'd she go? I just went, and then I loved it so much. And I remember I sent it to two of my best friends. I sent it to Amber V. Nicole, who's the author of the Book of Asriel, and Stacey McEwen, who's the author of the Ledge trilogy. And I sent it to both of them, just the first chapter. And I was like, should I keep going? I really like this. And they both were like, yes. Oh my God, it's so funny. Like, we love it. And they were both very encouraging. And I kind of knew I was going to keep going, but it was like nice to have the friend support. And so that I did. I announced it. I was like, I'm going to write this book. And everybody that had followed along with the series was like super supportive. And I felt like I had like a community rooting for me. So it was like, I was extra lucky because I felt like I had even more motivation from like all the kind people watching. Sorry, this is such a long-winded.
No, please carry on.
It was so good.
I'm rambling now. But and then I like thought about like publishing tracks. I ended up going traditional. There's so much merit to either or. But I felt like traditional was the way that felt like the best choice for me. And so that's what I did. And I somehow ended up actually getting it published. Now I'm like on a podcast with you guys.
Now you have to write more.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I know. I'm so like, I feel very, very lucky. It's like, it's so wild to me because I'll get like reminders of videos I posted like 3 years ago, because TikTok will do that. They'll like show you, this is the video you posted like 3 years ago today. And it's like an early assistant to the villain episode. And I'm like, God, that was only 3 years ago. How is it like, that's so wild to me. But it truly is like, it's so special to me. Like, it's the characters and the story, and it's such a like homey feeling to me just being with them, or just even like looking at the book. I like hold it and I'm like, my babies, like I love them. So yeah, and now I'm here. And that was super long.
Don't apologize at all, because this is really interesting. Yes. Can I ask, with your TikTok videos, do you find that it's an easy way for you to storyboard what you want to tell in the book? Because there's a comic book artist called Jamie Smart, and he tends to do children's books, and he's written novels, chapter books. And he struggled the first couple. It wasn't until he realised, actually, I'm a comic book artist. I write comic books. And he wrote the books as comics and then translated them from a comic into a word. So as a TikTok, as a video creator, I hate to say content creator because that doesn't feel like it's the right label. You know, as a creative art like person doing the videos, do you feel like that helps you storyboard what you want to tell in the books better than if you were to just sit down and write down a list or get post-it notes out?
Absolutely. I think it was almost like unintentionally outlining. Like the book is a different, like it doesn't completely follow like every storyline that I've done skit-wise, because that would just be so busy of a book. Like there's only so much plot you can have in one story. But I did have so many salutes to like episodes of the skits within the books, that like little Easter eggs that people would get from the skits, or a character we met in the skits. And I did the same thing with book 2. Like I was like, there's so many salutes to the skits in book 2. And I just feel like it's always going to be that way because that's where it came from. And so I like always want to pay homage to that. But yeah, I think it definitely helped me like outline the story and figure out like the characters, and also just help me brainstorm like, where is this character going? What are they doing? The villain especially, because there's only so much you can do when it's just you and the camera and you're talking to someone like they're there. Yeah. But I'd always imagine like, what is his response? What would he be saying? And so like when I sat down to do his point of view, I was so there was never a question if it was just going to be an Evie's point of view. I was like, he has to have a point of view, because if I don't get this on paper, I'm going to go, I don't know what's going to happen up here. It's getting too busy. Because I would hear him going like, let me say what I want to say. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, I can't, like, I don't know what to do. I did like a Freaky Friday episode just so I could like have the villain in an episode. And I just like I just said everything I thought he would say. And then it was so fun for me because I was like, this is like him in the book now. And it's so funny. And
it must be difficult to avoid spoilers though. Like to do a video think, oh, I best press delete, or I'll save that one till after the book's been out for a little while.
Yes. Yes, but I think I've gotten kind of a good thing down where I think a lot of the time some people will guess that something's in the book when it's not, and sometimes I'll post something that is a clue to something that's happening in a book and no one will get it. And I'm like,
That's
like,
villainous
like evil.
sneakiness.
I feel evil. But then somebody, like, I did that in a video, and then somebody read book one and they came back and they were like, you did this here. And I'm like, I did. I was waiting for somebody to get it. I put like so many little like Easter eggs in the books, like so that people could find them. And so like if you reread it, you can maybe find stuff you didn't find the first time reading it. And I did the same thing with book two, just because it's fun. But no, I feel like I sometimes will post a video and I'll be like, this is gonna be so funny when book two comes out because nobody knows like this is because they'll just assume it's just me making another bit, because I will sometimes it is just another bit, but sometimes it's not, but I'll never reveal when it is or isn't part of the bit, because that's part of the fun.
It could turn into
yeah.
short stories as well.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I feel like it's inspired so many little like side storylines within the books, like little like just little things like office shenanigans and stuff that they do. But yeah, oh my God, I could write so many short stories of just them being silly and goofy in the office. It's like so funny to me. I'm like, it's just like silly, goofy fun, like an office episode, like not like just vibes. It's a good time. But yeah, I'm also like a big improv person. Like I rarely plan those episodes. I like didn't write an episode until I was like maybe 60 in, and the only reason I wrote it was because for the sake of time, it's literally just me turning on the camera and talking and seeing what comes out of my mouth.
It's amazing.
Sometimes it's good, and sometimes I'm like, oh my God, why did you say that?
Feels like a podcast episode, to be fair. We
might
have scripts, but is it what we
yeah,
say?
is that what we're actually
like,
doing?
it's like,
No.
Yeah, but I do the same thing with dialogue within the book. Like I'll talk it out loud and just see like what the conversation looks like, to the point where like my mom will be passing by and she's like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, the villain. What do you mean? I'm talking to my characters. I'm trying to figure out what we're saying here. But yeah, that's usually when I get my best stuff, is when I'm just kind of like just seeing where it goes. I'm a very bad planner. I do not like to plan, like over plan. I have a loose idea of where we're going, and then it ends up somehow working out.
That's amazing. I like.
So you're not Becky then.
No, but I want to be Becky's best friend so desperate. I just think she's so cool. And I'm like, I need that. I need someone to be like, can you, like, you need to do this. She's such a mom friend. Like, she's the mom friend that's like, can you guys, like, not? Because this is going to get you killed. And they're like, Becky, and your rules. It's just like, my rules that keep you from dying. Yeah, my rules. Like,
she's the type of friend who will bring a first aid kit and you're taking the mick out of her, but then you're the first person to need the first aid kit.
Yes. Oh my God. There's an episode of, have you guys seen New Girl?
Yes.
I haven't.
There's an episode. No, that's okay. There's an episode though where Jess, like the main character, says to Schmidt's mom, because she's like, I need less from you. And then Jess goes, you know what's so funny? I'm not going to be able to sleep until we're best friends. And I was like, that's me and Becky. I'd be like, please be my friend. And she'd be like, get away. And I'd be like, oh, see, this is going to be a problem for both of us. No.
This is an us problem now, not just a me problem.
Yeah, this is a you and me problem. But no, I feel like Becky begrudgingly, you get a lot more Becky in book two. So I'm excited.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So much
Can't
Becky in
wait.
Yeah. My favorite.
Okay.
My girl.
So let's talk about something that happened in the book. And Claire and I talk about this a lot in other episodes and just randomly. But Tristan is afraid of the dark, and Evie's afraid of ladybug spots. So what's a silly fear that you have, even though, oh my God, Tristan's fear of the dark, totally 100% valid, and yikes and sheesh at the end of it. But at the beginning, he's like, well, I'm not saying that I don't have a nightlight. So you're like, oh, it's so cute and precious, and he's afraid of the dark. And then you're like, oh, I'm so sorry.
I know, you find out later and you're like, oh God.
I was laughing at you.
I'll get you another night. And I'm trying to think if I have like a silly fear. I feel like they're all like existential fears. This isn't like silly. I'm very afraid of heights. Like I do not like to be high up. I get like vertigo really badly when I'm high up. So like hiking is like hiking like in a place where there's any sort of slope or there's any sort of dip where I can fall, not a good move for me because I'll get dizzy and I don't. They're like, no, your footing, you have good shoes on. I'm like, it's not the shoes, it's that the vision goes spotty, and I'm like, oh, I might go over. I don't know. Like,
Please explain to me how the shoes are going to save my life when I'm doing this.
yes, yes. Oh my gosh. No, I feel like I used to be like scared of some bugs, but I think as I've gotten older, unless I think it's a poisonous spider, I've made such peace with the bugs because I watched the spider cartoon and the spider was so cute. And so now anytime I see a spider, I'm like, he's Lucas, the spider. I think that was his name. It was like this cute spider cartoon. And I was like, what a way to make people not afraid of spiders, because he's adorable. He's like, I'm just here to catch the flies. And I'm like, oh my God, I catch all my flies. Lucas. That's so cute. Oh, I don't know that I have any like silly ones. I need to like think if there's anything like funny. I think I saw this question and I tried to think of something and I was like, do I have anything?
I have a ridiculous fear of birds, like big birds, like peacocks. Hate them. Hate emus, ostriches, herons.
I've heard they're
evil.
mean, so I think that's valid. I've heard their peacocks can be very aggressive. No,
like complete jerks.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So I think that's a valid. No, I think that's a super valid fear.
There's no reason for it though. There's a place called Warwick Castle in the UK. It's a castle, and they have a peacock garden. And I literally wandered around the place with a pink princess hat and a wooden sword in case one came near me. Because no,
that would show it like who's boss though, like having the crown. And
it was a look. I've got a picture of it, and oh my God. Just thinking about it was like. And this was the same holiday. We were there, and my husband actually proposed to me at this castle on this holiday with me in this pink princess hat and wielding this wooden sword. And like he was like terrified to do so because he knew I was so on edge, and literally went to the top of the castle and there was a freaking peacock there with its tails out, going, "Oh, look at me, I'm a peacock, look at my tail." And I'm like, I'm gonna stab it. And he's like, "No, will you marry me?" So yeah. Oh, honest. Oh, that's no. There used to be an aviary, a person's aviary next to my in-laws' house, and the peacocks would get out, and there was a peacock on the roof of the bungalow, and I literally wouldn't leave the car. I was like, nope, I live here now.
Oh my God.
You enjoy the visit. I am not getting out of this car.
Oh,
however, when I saw the penguins parading at Edinburgh Zoo, I nearly tackled one so I could hug it and take it home. I literally cried. I was 2 feet away from an emperor penguin. I was like, this is the greatest day of my life.
They're so cute. I love a penguin.
Yes. And so that's my ridiculous fear. And things in walls.
Oh, I understand that one. I have a very bad sensory issues. So if I hear a sound that like makes me go like, oh God. We had a squirrel infestation in our house once, which was such a weird thing. But there was a hole in our roof that like went through the walls. So squirrels came in, and at night when I was like laying down to sleep, I would hear them scratching against our wall. And so I was like, oh God, oh no, no. And then I wasn't like afraid of the squirrels, but I did look at them a little differently. I was like, oh, like,
you're a jerk
what
as
do you
well.
do? Yeah, I'm like, get out of our house. Like we caught them and then we patched up the hole and then we set them free. But it was I was like, what are you doing? Get out of the. Why are you in our house?
You either
also
pay rent or leave.
Yeah, you can't live here without doing your share.
Dishes need doing. You know, come on.
What the heck? No, but I feel like anytime, like we had because like when the summer months come in, the animals just try to like come in through like every crevice that they can, and we live in a semi-rural area, and we had my brother was like, oh yeah, I could totally like if I needed to hunt, like as boys do, he was like, if I needed to hunt, I totally could, and I'm like, no, you couldn't. You love animals way too much. And he's like, no, I totally could, and I'm like, you could not. And then he found baby mice in our basement and he was drop feeding them with like he was drop feeding them milk through a drop, and I was like, no, and he was like, yeah, no, but let me feed my mice.
How you doing there, great white hunter? Yeah uh-huh.
He was like I meant like if I had to, like if it was necessary for survival.
So he's clarifying that it's going to be a dystopian future / apocalypse.
Yes,
scenario.
that's his
Okay.
qualifier. If it's like absolutely necessary. Meanwhile, he's like drop feeding. He's like, no, because the mother had, I think something had happened to the mother, and he was like, I need to, I'm their mother now.
He is precious and not the villain.
I know, he is like, I have a very sweet, sweet brother, for sure. He's just so. I came home once and he had gotten 2 ducks. He was like really determined. He ended up giving them to like a lovely farm, but he had originally thought. I came home and all of his friends were like kind of like looking outside, and I was like, what is going on? And I come outside and I'm like, Jake, what are you doing? And he was like, don't tell mom. And I was like, don't tell mom what? What did you do? And he's like, just come outside. And like the tub we use for like parties to like put drinks in with ice, like he had it filled with water, and there were just 2 baby ducks like swimming in it. And I was like, why would you do this? And he was like, they're so cute and they were really inexpensive. And I was like, I don't think like that's gonna be a long term. He's like, well, one is like a duck that you keep for 8 weeks and then you set it free. And I was like, and the other one? He's like, the other one's a domestic duck, you keep it free. And I was like, oh my God. He only he like it basically fostered it and then gave it to like this lovely farm that took it. I was like, literally as soon as our mom pulled into the driveway, he was like, I made a mistake. And I was like, no, really? You're kidding.
He's precious. He needs to your brother needs to be protected.
He does. He's the sweetest.
He's a cinnamon roll.
He just wants to save all the animals. He's very funny. It was the most ridiculous thing ever. I was like, why would you do this? And he's like, I just wanted the ducks. They were very cute ducks. I understood. I kind of wanted to also keep them.
I like ducks. Ducks are cool. Very cool.
Oh, ducks are the cutest. I love them. They're so funny.
We've just discovered that we have baby geese walking around our house.
Geese are cute.
Yeah.
Geese, you don't want to make a goose.
No.
A goose mad,
No.
because that same brother was trying to play with them when we were younger, and one turned around and just went and like chased him. Yeah. Which is like why it's bizarre that he's so like, I love the ant. I'm like, didn't that like traumatize you? And he was like, no,
it's fine. No.
If anything, we're very much, I think like he has that same thing I do, where if somebody's like, I'm like, oh, now I really need to make you like now it has to happen. I'm not gonna be able to sleep until we're best friends. Like it's like a challenge. Yay. So ridiculous.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Silly. Just silliness. Oh my gosh. The rambling, I apologize.
No,
I feel
it's
like
fine. It's fine.
I'm like, how did we get there? We're talking about ducks.
But the thing is, though, it does actually quite lead on nicely to the thing that we're going to ask you, which is about if you had a real dragon. So it's like, well, you know, if your brother had a real dragon, what would he name it?
Oh my God, I don't even, probably something Disney. I feel like a lot of our pets have had Disney. Like he had a parrot named Zazu, and we had a bunny named Thumper, and I think he had oh wait, no, his hamster was named Shakira. So actually
Oh, what's the dragon out of Mulan called again?
Oh, Mushu.
Mushu.
He would do Mushu probably. I probably would pick Mushu as well.
Dishonor on a cow.
I literally was just about to. I say that all the time. Like Mushu was so real for that. Like he was like, you know what? I'm just trying to get this girl on the right track, and no one is listening to me. And I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't want to be like the servant forever either. He's just trying to earn his place in the world. And he's like, dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow. I love Mulan. That's like one of my favorites.
Me too.
Maybe a Mulan name for sure. For a dragon. That would be cool.
It's hard to decide if I like Mulan better or if I like The Emperor's New Groove better. Those are my 2 favorites.
Oh, what a difficult decision.
Your brother's crunk?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna call him after this and be like, I just talked about you a lot on the podcast. And he's gonna be like, what did you say? I'd be like, we decided that you're Kronk, which is
huge honor.
So accurate.
Yeah.
It's so accurate. Oh my God, so fun. Which is even funnier because I think we said this not that long ago that he was Kronk. And I said it would be a funny Halloween costume for him and his girlfriend because she could totally make a fabulous Yzma outfit. And she did it. She did this like funny laugh, like she does like on purpose. She'll go, and I'm like, Iman, that sounds like at the end of the movie when Yzma turns into a cat. She's like holding the potion and she's like, and what you're literally doing. It was so accurate. Like,
The
it was too
synergy,
good.
if you want to be a corporate, since you know the villains are the corporate thing, it's all coming together. I'm loving this.
Like,
this needs to happen.
that can be their costume, and I will be a llama.
Yes.
Yay, I'm a llama again.
I'll be a llama, and they can be, or I'll be Pacha. I like Pacha
Yeah,
too.
he's very good.
I love Pacha's the cutest.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
I-
this is amazing.
I feel like this is just an average Sunday for me talking about Disney movies.
I would love to be Yzma. That's like if I ever get to. I used to cosplay a whole lot, and like if I ever get to do it again, Yzma is my character that I want to be.
She had such cool fits.
Yeah.
She had the coolest fits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hitting things with hammers.
That's always, you know what? I'm sure that gets a lot of, and then you just hang out with Kronk,
Yeah.
who's like such a himbo.
Yes.
He's so buff and cute
Yeah.
and a good cook.
Yeah. My spinach puffs.
I was literally my spinach puffs. The best. The best.
Yeah.
So funny.
Blade gives me Kronk vibes as well, though.
Blade,
Yes.
yes, 100% is like very Kronk vibes for sure. Blade is just like he is a himbo. Like he's like the guy you would trust to watch or drink at the bar, but he's also like really funny and he's fun to hang out with. And yeah, I would love to be like one of Blade's besties.
Yes.
I could see why Evie loves him.
Now, if you would just ask Becky out, and she studies carefully for any tells. Interesting.
Oh.
Interesting.
Is Blade like Becky? I don't know.
Hmm.
Interesting theory. That's so interesting.
That didn't
Everyone
sound
has their own interpretation.
that didn't sound fake at all. It's fine.
I like so bad at like I'm good at keeping other people's secrets, but in my head there's no such thing as like an inside thought. Like I will just say whatever and then regret it later in the dark at 3 a.m. when I'm alone.
Well, when we're
Like,
not
that's
recording, please feel free to just let that all vomit out in terms of
Yeah.
spoilers.
or if you realize that you said something that you shouldn't have, just oh my god, Amanda, edit that out, and then I will, and it'll be
Oh,
fine.
you're so
Yeah,
sweet.
of course.
Thank
She does
you.
it for everybody else.
Yeah.
That's so
You do it for
nice.
me.
No, it's nice because I think sometimes you like forget and then you'll stumble into something that you like shouldn't have revealed for like a book.
Yeah.
I've gotten good at like stopping myself, but I like every time I'm on a TikTok live, I'm like, oh my god, I almost said the name of book 3. Whoopsie. Because I was like saying the name of book 2 and then I almost said the name of book 3 and I was like, oh, that would have been really bad. Or I just would have been like, oh, whoops, I messed up the name. Like I would have been like, I was like, ah.
I was trying to think of
Oh,
what
no.
book 3 could be called because I
I
was
know,
like,
I
well,
was
there's
thinking about it
assistant
too.
and there's
Yeah.
apprentice. Does it follow the A terms? And what are the A terms? And I couldn't think of it because I was like,
Hope it follows the H.
I've gotten the funniest guesses for book 3's title. And I'm like, every time I'm like, you know what? That's pretty good.
Just save it. That's book
I
4,
like that.
book 5.
Yeah, that's so funny. I'm like, you guys are like, everyone is super. And that's why I think half the fun of like doing the social media stuff is being able to like interact with everybody about the characters in the comments because they feel like our characters. So like everybody will say something like, oh, Becky would do this. And I'm like, Becky would do that. You're so right.
I would love to
It's
see
so funny.
Becky's stationery drawers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my-
they're so organized.
Oh,
Organized.
The rainbow colours would be.
Yes.
I can share a quote from book 2 that made me really giggle. And it was Becky's like on her way to do something. And another character says to her, what are you going to do? Alphabetize them? Like, what?
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, she would do it seamlessly too.
Yeah. Yeah.
She would, yeah, like she could fix the whole world with a little bit of time and organization.
She wouldn't do if she wouldn't put them in colour order. She would alphabetize,
Yeah.
You know,
He's an alphabetized
yeah,
person.
not by genre, by alphabet, because it's the best and the correct way.
It's like the most efficient in her mind. I think Evie would be a color coordinator.
Oh, no.
Or Blade would be a color coordinator.
I just don't get
because he loves colorful things.
I feel
I imagine his closet is just like vests, like of the rainbow.
Yeah.
Like all the way down
I mean,
the line.
it might
like,
look pretty, but when you've got a book series that's all different colours, it doesn't work that way.
no.
And oh, it's so true. I know. I just ordered a bookshelf, and I'm like gonna need to build it, and I'm like, how am I gonna organize this? And I'm like, ooh, the already decision making of it is giving me anxiety.
Alphabet. If you want to go first name or last name, that's up to you.
No.
But you start with A.
No, I'm sorry. The librarian in me just vomited at that comment. But like, don't look at my shelves, because my shelves are in order how I want them to be. They're in personal preference order.
Super pretty.
But the librarian in me is like, I need to put them in order.
But you've got to keep the authors together. You don't have them mixed up in all over the place. You've got
true.
I do have the Lady Taylor scale, or your Jackson 4 PC Cast, Kendara Blake.
I have a whole PC Cast shelf.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love.
But they're not.
That's
not in any order. It's fine.
Well, no, I feel like I'm very lucky. I've conned a lot of authors into being friends with me. Like I've tricked all. Yes, isn't it great? I tricked all of them. And so I have a lot of their books, and I like to. So I think I'm gonna have like a whole shelf just to display like my really, really good friends' books, because I'm the biggest fan of my friends'
That's
books.
us. Or that, like, I have all of my British author friends over here. Like,
wow,
yeah,
I love that. It's nice, and then you look at them and you're like, oh, there they are, right
and
there.
then I like to point at them. Like, we've talked to them 7 times. We've talked to them 4 times. We've talked to.
That's so cool. I love that. I love that. I'll have to call you both when I'm organizing, and you can give me some
for
pointers.
sure. For sure, we will.
We'll just
Claire
sit
and I
there
do
with
that with
popcorn.
each other too.
Yeah. We'll just sit and
yes.
be like really critical, or then we like give you the helpful hint and go, no, don't do it that way, that other way.
I feel better when someone is giving me guidance than just they're like, oh, go do your thing, and I'm like, no. Just tell me what to do.
Direction
That's
is
easier.
good.
I like direction. I'm not good at I have such a scattered. It feels like there's bees in my head at all times. So I'm like, if there's someone giving me one focus point, I'm like, yes, thank you. I'm gonna do that.
Love it. I feel like I need to set you some challenges now, some targets. Will you do the action points that aren't getting done at work?
I if someone gives me a task, especially if it's just a very tedious task, like organizing, or I don't know, adding a stamp to something. I don't know when I would need to add a stamp to something. I digress. If it's a little job, I'm the most excited. I'm like, yay, okay, I can do that. Thank you for giving me a job. Stamp.
I love a bit of organizing though.
The best for my brain. That's the easiest for me to tackle, I think.
It stops the itchiness when you're able to do that kind of thing, have that easy reward stuff. I used to play the Lord of the Rings collectible card game, and I've still got all of them in the garage, and every now and again I would tip. It's a big box full of stuff, and I would tip them out just to reorganize them into alphabetical order, and buy
I love that.
put the elves together, the humans together, the dwarfs together, and then
I love that.
I am the weirdo in the bookshop who reorganizes the shelves into the correct alphabetical
Weirdo.
order.
That's
in series order. No, you put the numbers on the books for the reason.
No, but that's nice. You walk into a bookshop and it's nice and organized. You can find everything. That's gold. That's needed. That's necessary.
I've lost count the amount of times I've been mistaken for staff because I've been doing that. But on the plus side, I have been able to make a few sales.
There you go. So you're really helping out.
You're not getting commission though.
I'm not getting commission though, but a few author friends should have the numbers increased.
Okay. Well, that's very kind. You should get a. You're bringing the sales in.
Yeah, nepotism pays. Pays other people, but I get the fun of having the conversation when they're like, "Oh, so you know a lot about this book?" I'm yes.
Yes. And then you pull out your Fictional Hangover business card, and here's where you can listen.
I have given out the business card quite a few times. I do have a stack of them.
That's so cool. I love that though. What a fun thing to be able to do. That's so suave to be like, here's my business card.
Oh, I embarrassed
Yeah.
Amanda when we finally met. The first time was last July. She came over to the UK and we met in London. And we went to a bookshop and we were in an elevator. And the elevator was packed.
So packed.
And then somebody was talking about books and I just turned and went, oh, I've read that book. And it was on the podcast. And then just instantly start going into the spiel about the podcast. And Amanda's like, she's just saying it because it's her podcast, and I'm acting as if I'm a listener, not actually the
Like,
host.
that's
Stop ruining the
It's
spiel.
weird. It's weird when you talk
It's
about
so
us in the
awkward.
third
Stop
person.
it.
Oh my God.
We could have a new listener.
No, I feel like it's like the equivalent to like when you're in a bookstore and or oh my gosh, there's been times where I'm like, I'll go and see my book in a bookstore and I have like this nightmare of someone walking up and going, oh, have you read that? And I'll be like, what do I do? Oh, yes.
Intimately.
I feel like I would freeze. I don't know what would happen. Because I do this thing, I did these videos for a bit. I still do them because it's just fun for me to do it. I'll go to Target and I'll talk to my book like it's a person. Because it's fun. I'll visit with them because they're my children and it's good to visit your children. And so I'll go and I'll put the camera up and all these people in the comments are like, what Target are you doing this at? Like, I want to catch you in the act. And then I'm like, now I'm like so scared when I go, someone's going to be like, Hannah. And I'm going to be like, crap, they caught me. They got me. Part of me is like hoping it'll happen because like that would be really, really funny if I got that on camera. But also I'm like, oh God. Because it's just like, even more so, like people pass me doing it because I'm like on all fours, like talking to my book. Like I must look like a little bit.
You
like,
genuinely
oh.
are the only author I know have done videos doing this. Rosie Talbot. If you've never read Rosie Talbot, you should read Rosie Talbot. She's brilliant. She's a bookseller and an author, and she visits her book babies all the time.
She does, yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, I feel like you want to when you're in a bookstore and you know it's there. You're like, I gotta go see it. Like,
If
But,
I,
like-
honestly, I think Amanda, I could safely say the same about you. If we had published a book and we were in a bookshop, we would probably just live in the bookshop and go, "This is my
Yes.
book baby. Would you like to
Yes.
hold it?"
Yes, I would.
you just go up and be like, hey.
I mean,
Huh?
well, that's what I do.
I'm so, like-
When I go to bookstores, I'm like, and we've talked about this one on the show, and we've talked about this one on the show, and we talked about this one, and it was really great, and we talked about this one. Like,
I'll do that with like books. I'll take, if I go with someone, I'll be like, oh, I've read this one and I read this one and this one was really good and I really like this one and this one and this one. And I'll do the same thing where I'm like, because you feel like, oh my God, I know that
yeah,
book.
it's like, oh,
Oh,
there's
and
my friend over there. Look, and it's a book.
Yeah.
Especially when we've discussed the book and we go so in depth. Like, if
So
you,
much detail.
the summary is so. We know people who've used our summaries
To
for
cheat at homework.
educational purposes, for cheating.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Because the summaries are
That's
so detailed.
fun. That's so awesome.
And they're all available at fictionalhangover.com.
That's a good plug. That was so
You're
good.
plugging the show on the show. though.
Yes, because people don't necessarily visit the website.
That was so smooth.
Oh my!
That was so smooth.
Any,
I loved it.
but
That was so
you feel like you have a connection with the book because of so intimately discussing it and
Yeah.
researching and listening it. I mean, we can listen to the
Yeah.
books 2 or 3 times as we're summarising them, and then when we get to talk to authors as well. So every time now I see Apprentice to the Villain, I'm going to be like, this is my friend's book. Because you are now
Yes.
officially a
Aw,
member
we
of the
love
Fictional
her.
Hangover family. Whether you like it or not, you are a member of our family and you have to
Right,
come and
yeah.
listen to us all the time now.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we get into, that's my friend's book. I know that person. There was.
I'm gonna
oh,
cry.
it's
That's so nice.
you did.
Oh my God, you guys knew I cried.
Clench your butt.
Oh, wait, I'm
Clench your butt.
Clench your butt cheeks.
Oh, you're doing so well.
feel
You're
like
doing
it's
so well. You're doing it. It's great.
Like
Loving
my
it.
mental health. I really am gonna have such strong glutes. Like, which is good because like who doesn't want strong glutes?
Exactly. So yeah.
One of the biggest muscles in the body, I think. So it's good to. Is it? I think it is.
I don't know.
Or maybe it's
not-
I don't know.
Isn't your tongue?
I feel like it's your tongue. I feel like your tongue is something.
The strongest
I
muscle?
feel like something.
Or
like
maybe
that.
I'm thinking of the biggest muscle. I'm thinking of the biggest
Maybe.
muscle. In the
The
body.
strongest muscle in your body is your brain. I don't know. I'm making crap up.
Oh, I
mean,
literally was like, "You're."
Like it
believe you.
sounded good, but I don't.
Say
I- you
anything
tell me
with
anything and I-
confidence.
Right, it's true.
That's why I'm so like will have people that will joke with me and will be like, yeah, this. And I'll be like, oh my God, really? And they're like, no, Hannah, no. And I'm like, oh, well, you said it like it was true. I don't know. I trust you.
Well, it's close. The strongest muscle in your body is located on each side of your jaw.
Hmm.
Mine must be really strong because I never shut up.
Explains why I've got that Haribo snake the other day. I was like ripping its head off.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna come down after we get
You're just happy.
Yeah, it's fine. You're just
it was up there.
You're happy, Burr. Like,
we're still like decorating the walls. So like we don't have like wall hangings yet. So at first I was like, I'll just leave it there until the wall hangings come in because it's just so sad up there. Right now it's so blank and sad. But now I'm like, the wall hangings might not come for a bit. And my birthday was a while ago. So it's all right.
You leave it up for as long as you want. I've still got my Mother's Day card off a month and a half ago.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I still have your Christmas card that you sent me in the mail on the refrigerator.
That's cute. I love that. That's very cute.
Wait, or it's not yours. I don't think it's yours. I think it's Dawn Kurtigich's.
Oh yeah, thank you, Belle.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah. Which you should read her books too, by the way. Dawn Kurtigich, she's adorable and gruesome and horrifying.
No, I love recommendations, and I'm about to be off a deadline, so I'm like so ready to be able to read everything that I didn't write. I'm like, you get to a point where you're like, God, I love this story so much, but I'm so ready to read words that did not come from my own head.
Especially if you're making it as content, like as for like you're doing the creative side with TikTok, you need that little bit of a break from the characters and go, you're allowed a holiday, I'm allowed a holiday.
Right? Yes, because you're a good villain. You're allowed. You're allowed to have self-care.
I do love doing the videos are just so fun. And normally if I'm like on a really tight deadline, I do them a little bit less just for obviously like prioritizing time. And then when I have like more time to film them, I'm just like, it's just such a nice like bounce between because even when I'm not in the story, I'm still in the story because I'm still doing stuff with the world. So it always feels fresh, which is really nice. And the videos are fun. Like I have such a fun time doing them too.
I'm looking forward to the day you do a video that is not in the assistant to the villain kind of world and you start blowing people's mind and go, what's she writing?
Are you doing something else? How dare you?
I need it. I did the librarian and the narrator videos. So it's like a librarian working in a magical library with a narrator who is kind of like unhinged and he writes like things that come to life. And then I did a queen of the underworld type of situation, but she's very incompetent. She's like Alex Russo from Wizards of Waverly Place. Like,
I need all of these things in my life.
Going to be doing what she's doing. And there's like a bodyguard and he's like, you shouldn't be doing this job. And she's like, I want a crown. And to not do work.
Look so pretty.
Like I'm in power. Doesn't that mean I don't actually do it?
And that's how you get a villain origin story, or at least your nemesis origin story.
Oh my gosh, most definitely.
You're an incompetent queen, therefore I need to take you down.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love the creative videos though. They're so fun.
Yeah, the best. Okay, well I feel like we've kept you for a really long time, but
I've had so much fun chatting with you guys. This is such a nice way to break up I'm going back into cleaning after this and then getting back into my deadline. So this is a lovely break in the day.
Oh, good. But we want to tell you that we're really excited for Apprentice to come out. It's releasing August 6th. And I mean, we've already pre-ordered it and we need it. Like,
sweet. Thank you so much. I'm very.
So can you tell us anything about that one? And also, will you come back like right before it comes out to do another episode?
Oh, I would love to. Yeah, most definitely. Even just
and then when it comes out, we'll do another episode like this, and we'll just have to invite you on over and over and over and over and over again.
I would love it. I would love it. I'd be so happy to. Good. Yes. Oh my God.
Good. Okay.
What I can say, I don't know like how much I'm allowed to say about like the summary, like the thing we'll see on the back of the book. But I'll say that there's a lot of evolution for a few characters in this story. You're going to meet some new characters in this story. And basically, the way I've been telling people, I'm like, you just get more of everything in this story. There's more romance, there's more tension, there's maybe not even just between the two main characters. There might be romance between other characters in the story, and between new characters, and we meet new magical creatures, and we might visit some new parts of Renadon. So, yeah. So like new stuff, but also stuff we know, just like more of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And we get to see Evie kind of grow even more into herself, which is like my favorite part about her.
Yeah, sold.
I want to know if any more heads are going to be added to the foyer. I'm so happy that the blacksmith got it. Oh my god,
that guy was the worst.
Oh, I hated him so much.
I took out so much like frustration out on that situation. I was like, yeah, this feels, and I remember writing that scene because I remember feeling I was so in it in that moment. I felt such gratification that it was ending that way, because I knew it was going to end when I started. It's so weird talking about spoilers because I normally avoid them. Like
all
when
spoilers.
Oh, we're all spoilers. We're made of spoilers.
Hey, I love that. Okay, because normally I like can't talk about the spoiler, or like not that I can't. I just like don't always, because I'm like I don't know who's read when I'm talking on a live or something. But no, when I wrote the first line of the book, which was like there's severed heads hanging from the ceiling again, I knew literally in my head, like upon writing that I was like, it's going to end with Evie adding a head to the top. I wasn't positive yet. Like the story was still like unfolding, and I wasn't like 100%. As soon as we met the blacksmith, I was like, it's gonna be you, dude.
Listen, focus.
You. I can't wait. Like, yeah, it was such a taking back her power moment, and I really loved it. And too, like it's just a part of her evolution. And we might see more of that in book 2.
I'm genuinely worried that Stanley becomes a human again. I don't want that to happen. He seems to be happy as a frog. Well, he can become human if he wants to become human. But I don't feel like he should become human because he looks very happy as a frog. I'm concerned.
And he's
I'm worried.
so funny.
Those signs.
He says so much without saying like a whole lot. And I just wish I had that talent.
So funny.
I wish I could say like everything I wanted to say with just like one word. Like I wish. That would be fabulous. I don't have that gift. I need to say a lot of words to say what I want to say. Or I guess I don't need to. It's always a choice.
I'm enjoying all the words, so it's you
Yes.
keep going.
So I'm like, I have talked so much that I'm like, shut up.
No, no way.
never.
Do not at 3:00 in the morning, because I know how your brain will work. It works the same as mine, and it works the same as Amanda's. You're going to wake up 3:00 in the morning going, oh my god, I did not shut the hell up. No, right now that this is what the best part of my day, and this is absolutely amazing, and we're having so much fun, and we genuinely wouldn't invite you back if we did not want to continue this conversation.
Right, exactly.
So
at 3:00 in the morning when that happens, go, nah, we had fun.
No,
and
they
then go
loved
back
it.
to
It was
okay,
fun.
okay,
No,
I
it's
will.
amazing.
I will. My brain needed that, I think. Perfect.
Okay, keep that in your brain and clench your butt while you're doing it.
Yeah.
I will. Most definitely. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Well, it was so nice. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. When it happened, like we got your arc a while ago, and like I was kind of staying in touch, like, well, we're not going to get to cover this one yet, but like, you know, in the future we're like building a theme around it so we can talk about it. But it's like, hi, I know I haven't sent you an email in like months, but you think you can get Hannah on to talk to us? And she's like, yeah, of course I can. And I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god. When she emailed me, I was so stoked because I was like, oh, would you rather questions are so fun. Like, what a fun. I literally screenshotted the ones you guys sent me and sent them to my friend group chat because I was like, I want to know what your answers would be to this. Like, tell me what you would say. And they were like, dragon, Tatiana's dress, Blade. Like, it was so funny. I was like, this is the best. Like, these were such good would you rather questions because they were hard. Like, I was like, oh god, I don't know. I want to work with all of them.
Oh,
So hard to pick one because they all just have such different role in the office that
Yeah.
you're like I need all of them to stay sane. I don't know. Yeah. You guys came up with some really good ones. I love them.
I feel like that's probably what we're known for. So would you rather? And also completely spoiling everything in way too much detail.
Oh no. Hey, I love that because I like haven't been able to talk about a whole lot of book ones. I keep saying I'm going to do a TikTok live and I'm going to label it spoilers so that people know before they come in that we're going to talk about. I'll probably do it closer to book 2's release because I feel like by then it'll be like extra safe.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, we're saying all the spoilers
Yeah,
now because it's something I'm like I want to say, but I don't want to ruin it. But also, I really want to talk about it.
That's why Fictional Hangover is a safe space for spoilers.
Yes, definitely.
I love that. I love that.
And then like we've got this one coming out at such a good time, and then book 2 comes out, so it's like everyone, you know, if you don't remember what happened in book 1 and you don't have time to reread it, go and listen to this episode.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You know, August has got so many good books coming out as well.
I know.
I know.
So many good
Oh my
books in August.
gosh. I'm so excited for all the good books coming out.
Happy
I'm like,
birthday to me.
Indeed.
yeah. Oh, it's your birthday in August.
Yes.
When is it in August?
21st. And
Oh, my dad's on the 19th.
Oh,
So you're a Leo.
yes.
Love a Leo.
Yes. I'm just this year has been a phenomenal year for August books. I'm so happy.
Yeah, August is a great month. I love it. My dad's birthday. My dad's the best.
Happy birthday,
I'm
your
like,
daddy.
Yay.
And for your birthday too. We love a Leo.
Look,
Leo's
that's
are the
why you
best.
have the sign up. So you can tell Claire happy birthday really, really
Oh
far.
yeah,
in
I'll just leave it until
Yes.
Just keep it around for a few
so
months. It's fine.
You're so
keep it up till
kind.
August.
I'm looking forward to seeing if you do get artwork next time you come back. So that would be amazing.
Yeah, and we'll just be like, look
Yeah,
what's on
I
our
will
wall
have
right
artwork.
there.
Oh wait. I'm gonna walk away just for a second because I have this right in front of me. Somebody made this for me at a Polycon. They like drew it, and it's Evie and the villain at the end of the book.
Oh.
Isn't it cute? It's hard to see with the glare, but and the king's at the bottom saying,
Uh-oh, look at him.
He's so cute. But like they gave this to me and I was like, you made that?
That's amazing.
And I'm like, I'm always so wowed by people like doing art. Like it's so good. I was like, oh my god, and the green is just so cute.
That's amazing.
I'm, like,
Some
so
people are so
obsessed.
disgustingly talented. She says, talking to an
I know,
author and
gross.
creator. Yeah.
Right.
It's so, I'm like, whenever I see visual art, I'm always so like stunned by it because I'm like, I can barely like draw a stick figure like well. That like somebody making visual art, I'm like, somebody drew Tatiana on TikTok a few days ago and tagged me in it, and I literally cried. I was like, oh, Tatiana, she's so pretty. He did such a good job. My mom's like, you can't cry every time you see fan art, and I was like, watch me.
But now you're squeezing your butt cheeks.
Now I'm squeezing my butt cheeks. You're
You're going to be able to bounce a quarter off those by the end of the year.
I feel like, yeah, with the way I cry.
You know what? But you know, your buns are gonna look really nice in a pair of leather pants.
And I've always wanted to be the kind of person that wears leather pants.
Right?
I've just never the confidence.
Well, keep squeezing your butt, and you'll be able.
And I will be
You'll
able
be able to wear leather
squeeze
pants.
leather pants.
And if that's the life lesson we can take from this, we can end on a pew pew.
Yes.
But
Let's end on a pew pew.
lastly, tell everybody where they can follow you, where they can see all your videos, where they can keep up to date with new releases.
So I'm Hannah Nicole Maehrer on like every social media platform, and TikTok is where I post like most of my videos, as well as Instagram. And I just joined Threads. I'm not very good at it, I think. My first thread was like
Nobody's good at
pigeons
that.
on the balcony, and I was like, and the Calm app commented on it, and I was like, what is happening? Like,
Threads is weird. Just
yeah, I was no, it was so funny. I love the Calm app. I was like, oh my god, the Calm app commented on my pigeon thread. Like, so exciting. And then I'm also on YouTube, same thing, Hannah Nicole Maehrer. I don't post as much on YouTube, but I've been posting like the compilations of the episodes for people to watch, like as a whole, for people that don't have TikTok. And there's some of the episodes that are not on Instagram.
cool.
So yeah, that's where I usually am.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. This is one of the best episodes that we've had in a long time. So
My cheeks are hurting from
I
smiling.
know, right? It's so good. We found a new
Yeah, my-
bestie.
Oh my gosh. You guys are the best. Okay, wait. Should we pew pew?
Yes.
Yes,
Pew
we're
pew
100%
out.
gonna pew pew out. Okay. Everyone ready? Pew, pew, pew,
Pew 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 pew.
So that's it for this bonus episode of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we discuss The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackworth. Look out for our Would You Rather polls and monthly challenges on social media. Don't forget about our book club on Discord. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover-themed merchandise, and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com. Follow us on Instagram, Threads, TikTok and YouTube at Fictional Hangover. And find us on Facebook at facebook.com/fictionalhangover. If you like this episode, check out our others and be sure to rate, review and subscribe so you don't miss out. And finally, special thanks to Liz Emerson for our music. You can find her on Facebook and Patreon. Thanks for listening.